Now, at least 100,000 people have been uprooted in Ukraine and have fled their homes since Russia launched its attack on the country on Thursday. Several thousand have already crossed into neighboring countries, including Moldova, Romania, and Poland. Women and children have been seen crossing into Poland on foot, carrying what they can. Men between the ages of 18 and 60 being turned away at borders, the Ukrainian government asking them to stay back and defend their country.
Well, we have been working really hard to provide some valuable insight and perspective about Russia's decision to declare war against Ukraine. Today, we get that perspective from Anna Sazonov. She is the executive director of the Columbia Jewish Federation. Thank you so much, Anna, for being here. We know you have family in Ukraine, so let's start there because that's really what's most important. How are they doing?
First of all, thank you for having me. I'm really glad that I have the ability to share the perspective to others. So my immediate family, my parents are in Israel, and they made it back to Israel 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
Yes, but my extended family is in Ukraine. They're on the western part of Ukraine. A funny thing, literally 48 hours ago, I was in a live session with my cousin from Kiev. And we were sharing what's going on and really getting people to be informed about what's going on. And we were joking about the fact that if Putin is going to invade to Ukraine and invade to Kiev, the capital, and we didn't think that it's going to happen. And 24 hours after, he was texting me saying that he's on his way on the west, to the west side of Ukraine, where his family, where I'm from. And right now, he's might be recruited to the military. He cannot leave because he's under the age of 60. He's 28, and he might be recruited.
Yeah. My goodness. You know, something that none of us have had to ever experience in our lifetime. And what is he saying from where he is on the west side of Ukraine? Has he seen anything where he's at? And how often are you able to check in with him now that this has all kind of gone on in the past couple of days?
Yeah, so the city that he lives in and where I was born, Berezno, it's a very small city that is not necessarily going to be under attack for now, right. But there was explosives very close to the city, and there's movement coming out right now. An hour before I came here, I was serving as a translator between an American family that adopted 2 daughters from Ukraine many years ago, and they still have, those 2 daughters have 2 sisters in Khmelnytsky. And Khmelnytsky is a bigger city that's being under attack. And basically they were talking with me from the basement because there is no bomb shelters. Ukraine is not prepared to be under a war. And they were talking from a basement of the house, like a typical, very, muddy basement. And they were crying and saying, I don't know, how can you help us? Because the family was offering money or helping to provide, to help them cross the border. And they said, we cannot leave the house because there is bombing, shooting everywhere. We're afraid. We don't know what to do. The Ukrainian people are not used to being in such a situation. They don't know how to operate. They're basically, many of them, especially in Kiev, fighting with what they have.
Yeah, Molotov cocktails. I mean, it's coming down to that. And we've seen stories, as you say, you were, on that call with your cousin, and we've seen stories on some of CNN and the other networks where, a lot of people really were not worried in these days and weeks leading up to this because they really did not think it would come to this. But Anna, as you think about this, I mean, my boys were asking on the way to school, how can we help the people in Ukraine? On an emotional level for you, as you talk about serving as a translator, for them trying to communicate with their sisters, how have you managed just the last 24 to 48 hours?
It wasn't easy.
No.
It's makes me sick to my stomach. And it's also, I'm wearing multiple hats here.
Right. Yeah.
I'm wearing the Ukrainian hat, and I'm also wearing the community leader hat. And it's a great opportunity to show a sense of peoplehood and to support, from my perspective, the Jewish people, our brothers and sisters in Ukraine. There are estimated of 200,000 Jews right now in Ukraine, 10,000 Holocaust survivors that are homebound and they cannot leave and they rely on those services. So this is a great opportunity for me to help and support. And I was talking with a friend of mine and she asked me the same question, how do I feel to be so far away from my family? And I think that I'm here on a purpose. I'm on calling, basically.
Yes.
Because I'm wearing multiple hats and I can assist and share the story and to act as a translator and to share the stories within and to listen to Ukrainian stations and to translate it and to really share this message on a personal, emotional level. Because sometimes when we hear about things that happen elsewhere, we're like, oh, this person or that country, it's not really touching. But now it's touching. Now I can express what the people think and feel there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you're providing some perspective here for our viewers as well, some much needed perspective. And ways to help is kind of a big reason we brought you in, will be a huge part of our discussion. But first, I just want to talk about a new video that came out today from Ukrainian President Zelensky, and saying that he is in Ukraine. They are fighting for Ukraine. I think we have the video here, if we could pull it up and take a listen.
Good evening, everyone. The leader of the fraction is here. The head of the president's administration is here. Prime Minister Shmyhal is here. Podolyak is here. The president is here. We are all here. Our military are here. Citizens and society are here. We are all here defending our independence, our state, and it will remain so. Glory to our defenders. Glory to our women defenders. Glory to Ukraine.
You know, we've all been glued to our screens, TV, social media, watching, and there's been some rumors and all sorts of stuff flying around. Maybe he's not still in the country, maybe he is. That's proof right there. Holding up the phone, you can see his cabinet members doing in the back. What's your reaction to that video today?
I'm proud of him. I'm proud of this action. Because, first of all, he's pretty young. He's 44. He's also Jewish, so that's another part of being proud of. And he's not coming from the political world. So I think we see and experience a new way of leadership. And when things start to escalate, he basically went to visit soldiers on the borders and to check on them to see how they're doing. And this is, I look at him and I say, this is a brave leader. He's there with the people, fighting with them. And I'm following his social media and as well his website. And he announced different things and give speeches multiple times a day because he want his citizens to be informed of what's going on. And he said it from the get-go, I'm going to be transparent with everything that's going on. I'm here with you. We're not afraid. We're here together. We're here to fight for Ukraine. And I just want to mention, what we experience right now not only started in 2022, it started back in 2014. So the Ukrainian people been under threatened in the past 8 years. There were so-called war going on the eastern part of Ukraine for 8 years. Now it's really getting to a mass explosion and a mass activity. So the Ukrainian people fighting for their homes. And I think once you have the spirit, nothing can break you.
Yes, and we're seeing some of that. I know, there will be plenty of political analysis in the days and weeks ahead and even for years to come. Our focus right now, and the reason we wanted to bring you in, is on helping the Ukrainian people. One of the things that you said in your Facebook Live, which was very compelling, and why we wanted to bring you in today, is that we've got to make sure, not just the media, but all of us who have access to social media and ways to communicate, that we are relying on reputable sources for information, also ways to help. I mean, I can think of one piece of propaganda where Putin keeps saying they've got to drive out the Nazi leadership of Ukraine. And you just mentioned President Zelensky is Jewish. So, but people who don't have access to information or who just have not been, plugged into political or foreign affairs may not know that. So in terms of how we can help, just people who their hearts are with the people of Ukraine. What are some reputable ways that we can reach out?
You're absolutely right about relying on reliable sources and go to official governmental sites of Ukraine. And again, President Zelensky is doing an amazing job to inform the people, inform the community, inform the international community what's going on. Everything is being translated pretty fast, also into English on his site. You can see the video, but then there is a written translation of what he's saying. So this is a great opportunity to get informed of what's going on top of the different social media pages. And I think what the Ukrainian people need is to know that the world and the people of the world are here with them, supporting them. They're not alone. One of the things that I said in a conversation with the family that's trying to figure out what to do, I told them the world is with you, and that calmed them down. Because right now they feel isolated, and we need to support them in that way. And if you know somebody that is Ukrainian, please reach out to them, because probably they have family. If you post it on your social media, share it, that we all there for them. Because maybe something else will jump in the news tomorrow and Ukraine will be forgotten. And we need to make sure that it's not forgotten. Because this is not only a fight between Russia and Ukraine. It's a fight on Western values and democracy. Ukraine is a democratic country that want to be part of the West. They have full right to do that. They're an independent country since '91, and we need to support them to continue being a democratic country.
Well, we want to stay in touch with you in the Columbia Jewish Federation to see how we can help, how our community can rally together and make sure that our community is informed and can also be a part of finding a solution.
Yeah, another reliable source too, just if you are looking online, the Columbia Jewish Federation has posted several links and articles that are very informative. So Anna, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a quick break here on WIS. We'll be right back.